Hi British Vogue, it's Maya here, and I'm going to take you on a deep dive through my Instagram archive. Let's do it. Now, this one. This photo is me as an 18-year-old on my first trip to Napa, and I ended up in hospital. I was hosting my first ever event abroad, which was Fire on the Beach. And I was so excited because I was like, I'm going away for work for the first time. And the day before the actual festival, I had a water fight on the strip, and I ended up splitting open the bottom of my foot and ripping a tendon. I couldn't feel or see how bad it was, so I was in the back of the ambulance like, hey, yeah, fun, until I got to the hospital and they were like, you might not ever be able to move your big toe again, so you should take this a bit more seriously. It doesn't really bend properly, but it does have a bit of movement. Thank you, Napa surgeons. So this is a picture of me and my mum, and my gran and my auntie. I lived in Sweden until I was about 4 or 5, and then we moved to Bristol. Up until I was about 16, we used to go to Sweden like 2-3 times a year and see my mum's side of the family. I was definitely a performance child. There's videos of me when I'm super young, probably around that age, like 7 to 10, being like, I want to be on telly one day. I want to be in EastEnders. And I used to make everyone buy little tickets to come and watch my performances in the living room and charge them 50p or 10p or whatever it was. This photo is from still one of my favorite ever work trips in my whole life. I used to work at Urban Outfitters, and I was doing loads of free work at the time to try to get into presenting world, and I did an audition for this channel online called Copper 90 and got a job, and they took me to Brazil for the World Cup in 2014. The first bit where I felt like I had a leap of faith into my dream job and leaving away my pay the bills job. I went there not really knowing what I was gonna come back to and if I was even gonna have any work, and just hope I'm gonna make it. This is my first ever Brit Awards. I remember being like, oh my God, I've watched this on TV since I was a little girl and now I'm actually here. I think it was one of my first red carpets as well, and I was so nervous that in loads of the pictures I remember I had a clenched fist. Because you're just stood there really awkward, and I didn't want to let it be shown on my face, but my fist was carrying all the tension. Pretty sure I met Phil Mitchell that night. I loved EastEnders. My cats were named after Phil and Grant, so it was a big moment for me. Still haven't hosted it yet. That's on my dream job list, so maybe this can be putting it out. Obviously, I love Mo. I don't want him to lose his job, but just later in life. This one is me DJing at Glastonbury for the first time ever, 2016. It feels about 20 years ago that, and I was very, very confident, as you can see, getting out there, dancing for the crowd. And I was there pretty much all day because I was one of those like in-betweeny DJs for the acts. I spent about 7 hours playing, big session, but probably one of the times that I'll remember till I'm old and grey. I was one of those babies that got brought to Glastonbury and was getting dragged around in those little trolleys and strapped to the backs while my mum was having the time of her life. So I was a seasoned Glastonburyer from before I could even remember. This one is me on my first ever solo holiday in Sri Lanka, on a balcony in a bikini, having a sunbathe, and I wanted a pic, but I was on my own, so I asked the lovely cleaner to come in and take a picture. I think with age, I've got tougher skin towards like any negativity online and things like that, but that's only just throughout the seasons and growing and learning and experiencing. That definitely wasn't an overnight thing. I've learned to just let people think what they want. Sometimes I do clap back though. If I've got something funny to say, I will be like, eat a dick, but most of the time I'll rise above it. So this is from when I did a TED Talk, and I was so nervous. I went on my own and I was just like sweating my tits off before we had to go in. I remember when I got asked to do it, I was like, I don't know anything about anything. What am I supposed to talk about? And then I ended up just talking about my life and my experience so far, and resilience and overcoming tough things in life. Now more than ever, it's so important for people with a platform and people with a following to show transparency and to show truth and honesty behind the highlight reel of Instagram. Growing up in a non-conventional way, you can think that you don't belong in certain spaces sometimes, or that you would never ever be accepted in certain fields of work. Watching back on it now, I'm like, oh, bless you. I'm really proud of little you for doing that, because I would be shitting myself now. This is me and my cute little nanny, Nan. She is just honestly the cutest person in the world. She came as an immigrant back in the day from Somalia, and she's built a life for herself, and I just think she's a G. I spent probably half my childhood at her house. Me and her were ride or dies for a lot of my childhood. I don't know if this is everyone, but everywhere I go, if I see another Somali person, they're like, sis, bro, and we just like connect. Oh, this is iconic because it was me and Alesha Dixon many moons ago on Rinse FM, going back to back. Alesha Dixon is someone that I'd grown up watching, and in Mystique, I used to always be like, I'd be her, because we both had husky voices, and I thought she was an icon. So when she agreed to come on the show, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
Hey, I'm familiar, life memorabilia. Lyrical flows to create, it's a thing in ya. Whole flows.
Obviously, she used to be an MC artist. I remember getting on the train from Ladbroke Grove Station to Liverpool Street, writing these lyrics and thinking, okay, yeah, I'm gonna impress her so much, which was my opening bar. Like, I wrote this to impress Alesha. I just think it's such a nice moment because she really embraced me and took full part in the show, and I still know her now, and she's still the loveliest human ever. This is my first ever Vogue shoot. I remember getting really emotional when I was asked to even do it because I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna be in Vogue. Even when I got home, I remember just like screaming on the phone to my best friend, like, can you believe it? This is mad. And it was completely different, just vibe-wise and look-wise. Just completely stripped back and all classy and elegant and fashion. Lucy says, I'm calling it. Maya will be on the cover within 5 years, right? And then added her mate, Miss B. She said, 100%, she's too lit to quit. We got there, Lucy. Fucking killing it. I need to like send them a card or something. This was wild. I think it was during the pandemic as well, so it was just even more surreal. But I was on RuPaul's Drag Race for the first time, and standing up there and meeting RuPaul and just even Graham Norton and Michelle Visage. To me, I find them like GOAT level. That's the first time ever on TV where I was really shy. So watching back the episode, I was like, oh, Maya, you should have been a bit more horror, but I was just overwhelmed at like the greatness in the room. Me and the legend Davina working together for the first time and embracing each other. Davina is incredible. She is one of the first presenters I saw growing up and watched on Big Brother, and just has such a light and incredible presence and makes everyone feel like they're her best friend. Obviously, people say don't meet your idols, but she lived up to my expectations and more. Would love her to be like my auntie or mum or like sister or best friend. So last year for Halloween, I was me when I'm older. Tits down to the floor, just having a great time still. I have a Halloween party every year. It's become a thing. People really make such an effort and look forward to it the whole year, and I feel like I'll be doing that until I am that age. My favourite costume was me as a dead mermaid. I actually did an all-nighter from the party and went straight to my Radio 1 show the next morning and had to walk through the BBC building. Happy Halloween! Tune in, 10 a.m. It'll be the first and last time I'll be dressed as a mermaid in the studio, so baby, welcome to the party. I remember feeling like, woohoo, yeah, let's have it. Thinking it was all fun and games until like the buzz of life had ended by the end of the show. And then I had to do kind of like a walk of shame through the BBC building and just leaving sequins in my trail. But it was a really fun show. And everyone that got in touch that hadn't, had much sleep before their job as well, we all bonded through that moment. This is me filming Love Island. My manager called me like, so if Love Island offered you a job, what would you say? And I was like, yeah. But it was actually in the middle of the time where I was like, I'm gonna take some time off this year and just really align myself and, have a normal life for a bit. And then that came up and I was like, all right, time off done, let's fucking go. It's a show where I've been able to showcase my personality and just have complete freedom with my looks and glam, which doesn't always happen in telly. Usually you've got to get a lot of approval and things. So Love Island's probably the first show where they've been like, we want you to be you, wear what you like, do your makeup how you like, and just shine. This is probably the best post I'll ever have in my entire life. The Vogue cover. I still can't even really believe it. I don't think it will sink in until I've got the physical copy in my hand and I'm like, on the shoot day, Stephen Meisel, he would just direct me into do exactly what looked good. He guided me for everything, basically, so I didn't have to worry too much. It's just surreal, if I'm really honest. It doesn't feel like it's actually happening. But it's amazing, and I'm so honoured. Every time I'd go to the toilet, I'd literally sit there like, oh my fucking God, pretend this isn't like maddest thing in your life, and go back in like, hi, you're right, guys, yeah. This was in my life goals for when I'm like at the end of my life, to eventually maybe even get like a corner of a cover, like be in the background of someone's shot, let alone have my own one. So it's just, it's mad. Who would have thought from that little wild teenager in the back of an ambulance in Napa that we'd end up here? Thank you for watching and coming on this little journey with me. I'll see you soon.